It's another week of This Week in Google Glass, episode number 48, and we're going to talk a little bit about 20.1, where Google Glass, their update, and then, of course, the new terms of service for Google Glass. And we're going to do that all tonight. Tonight's the night we do Google Glass, and that's This Week in Google Glass. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, and I have to quick apology to my girlfriend Jennifer, who I just yelled at for turning because the volume was up. I said, I need the volume down, and I didn't mean it that way, so I apologize. And she's smiling at me. So anyway, you can find me over at This Week in Google Glass or geekazine.com, Jeff at thisweekingoogleglass.com, or Jeff at twig.tv with two G's. Double the G, double the fun. And as always, my co-host, my cohort, the man who puts up with me, especially at 5 o'clock on a Monday when it said, we don't have anything to talk about, let's just not do a show, Mr. Luke Wallace.
Wait, did I say that or did you say that? Because I think we've both been in that place. Oh, but, you know, we looked around.
I said that. I made the call. It was like, I looked at the news last week, and it was like, there is no new news. Yeah. So why put out a new show if there's no new news? So, but anyway, Luke, tell people about yourself.
So my name's Luke Wallace. You can find me on the internet on Twitter at Luke Luca or on Google Plus at google.com/+Luke Wallace. There you can see lots of pictures I've taken with glass. Just keep up with all the little stuff I post occasionally. Or if you want to email me for this show, the email address is luke@twig.tv. That's TWIGG.TV. It's thisweekingoogleglass.tv, basically. Twig.tv.
There you go. So So we did have a week off last week because the reality was there was no news. So what did you have? What have you and what about the animals? What did you do the last couple weeks?
Oh, been taking it easy, at least as far as at home. Been real busy at work, doing some stuff. Nothing I can really talk about at the moment, but some exciting stuff that might be relevant to this show. Just really taking it easy, spending time with family, doing that kind of thing. Just enjoying the last few days of summer. School started up here for a bunch of kids, and so I had to deal with the school zones, going to work, normal thing. But so
you're now in what, 10th grade?
Yeah. I'm starting my sophomore year, so I'll be no, I just look that way, I'm sure. It's always hilarious when people tell me
I thought it was hilarious. I was going like, oh, that was hilarious.
I've got homework I gotta do, so
And that algebra teacher, she is such a pain. Yeah. She's a tool. She doesn't know her algebra. I have no idea.
What about you? What have you been doing the past couple of weeks? And I'm sure you've been busy. I've been seeing lots of stuff on Geekazine.
Oh yeah, lots of video. I just put out a couple videos today. One of them's not done. I haven't posted it yet. It's done. It's just sitting there going, "Hey, you put me up on YouTube now. Put me up there, YouTube." Anyway. So not much with Google Glass. In fact, I told Luke, and I'm going to tell you all, the last couple of weeks, my Google Glass has been sitting on my hook. I actually have a hook, and that's my thing. Is I have a little white hook in the wall, and where I just hang my Google Glass, and it has not seen anything but this room in the last 2 weeks, which is kind of sad. But it's also sometimes you don't want to go out and get people saying, hey, is that Google Glass? Are you recording me? Or anything like that. And other times it's just like, I just want to wear sunglasses. I just need to do this, or I don't want to sweat on the glass or anything like that. I don't want to do my ALS ice bucket challenge or anything like that on glass and go from there. So yeah, I guess I kind of took a couple weeks off from the Google Glass.
Yeah.
So, but hey, now we're back here. We've got a show, and we sound so excited about it. Are you excited?
Oh yeah, it is good. Some we there was some really interesting news. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of some of the stuff we're talking about this week, because there's definitely some interesting stuff that shows some signs that things are afoot within Google
Yeah.
on the Google Glass front.
Well, you know, and every piece of technology has its downtime. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, iPhones. There's a week or two where I don't talk about iPhones. There's a week or two I don't talk about Android, you know, or anything like that. So this is
Oh
just
yeah.
a little downtime for Google, and we knew that was going to happen. I mean, being very specific for that, but we also are starting to think about how wearable technology is going to go. And will Google Glass be Google Glass in 5 years? And we want to at least keep this show going for about 2 years. So I'm gonna open up the doors here, and we want to bring on a third person to Twig.tv. And if you want to check it out, you can go over to Twig.tv, TWIGG.tv. And what we're looking for is somebody that can be on the show. It doesn't have to be every Monday. For there's times where we can't be on every Monday, but we're looking for people that one or two people that will talk more on the lines of the wearable technology, because we're completely missing a whole bunch of that, a whole bunch of stuff, simply because of the fact that the name of the show is This Week in Google Glass. But with Android watches, Chromebooks, other wearable technology. Chromebooks are not wearable technology. Well, it depends, unless you're Halloween
Backpack.
costume. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, this Sony tablet. This is an amazing Sony tablet. This Xperia 2,
Hmm.
because it feels so thin. It feels like a clipboard. And if you remember clipboard days,
Oh
if you
yeah.
ever if you ever ran around with a clipboard, it was amazing. When I was in Anaheim, I don't know if I told this story or not, but when I was in Anaheim, I was standing there doing video, and I had this thing. I'm calling it clipboard now, and I was actually doing the stuffing in the back of the pants, so I could keep my hands free. And it was just sitting there in the back of my. I would never do that with my iPad, but I'm doing it with this thing, so it's amazing. So we've got a lot of other technologies that work with glass, and we need to start exploring that, and we need to kind of broaden our scope here. So what we're doing is we're looking for another person that can bring in the Android Wear, or the wearable technology, whatever it is, into play here. So if you want to be part of that, and I'm going to turn down the volume on my end a little bit here. If you want to be part of that, come in and talk to us over at Twig, Jeff at Twig.tv, Luke at Twig.tv. And your only requirement is, like I said, you got to be able to do the show on Mondays at it would be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. So, and it is an hour long. You have to get on the line a half hour before, and so it's about an hour and a half of your time. And then most of the post production work I do, unless you want to do it, then we can work out something and go from there. So, and of course, it would be fun to have another person on the show, because there's only so much I can talk to Luke about.
Yeah. Oh, I totally understand.
Yeah, and there's probably only so much that you can talk to me about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've done this show now. What are we on? You said 48. So
40,
we've.
no, we're on episode 49. Next week is episode number 50.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean that's literally 2 days straight of talking, back and forth here. So yeah, it'd be nice to have someone else, and it's always fun to have a third person. We love it when guests come on the show. So we'll also throw that out there. If you've got Glass, or you've written an app for Glass, or you're interfacing with Glass in some way, we'd love to have you on the show. Maybe you have an idea for Glass that you're looking for some help developing, and you'd like to come on and talk to our uh,
People.
what do you call it, viewer base, and
Your
kind of
people
get your
talk to
idea.
our people, and our people talk to your people.
Yeah, so we can work that out. So yeah, if you've got anything glass related, or now even wearable related, we'd love to have you on the show and kind of find out what you're doing, and give you an outlet to really get your ideas out there.
All right, there you go. Well, thank you very much, Luke. And yeah, definitely go over to twig.tv, twigg.tv, or thisweekingoogleglass.com. And it's like plus.google.com /plus This Week in Google Glass, or This Week in Glass, something like that. And you can go from there. All right, let's get into the news in our new segment we like to call Big News, Little Arms. The audio is supplied by Mr. Luke Wallace.
Yes, audio engineer or Foley artist, I think is the right term for sound effects guy.
Voiceover sound effects guy, whatever. You know, when we did Glass Miami, you did the,
Yeah!
and now with Big News, Little Arms.
It's almost the exact same sound, really. I really can only do that one thing, so it's kind
Hey, you know, it works. It works.
yeah, I can do any sound effect as long as it's something pretty close to that.
Okay. Well, let's do this. It is Big News, Little Arms.
You got to watch the video. If you're not watching the video, you're really missing out. You got to come watch the YouTube.
You got to see the video. You got to see the graphic I created with that.
Yeah,
so.
it's a great graphic.
Thank you. I don't know. It's an okay graphic. I mean, it's like here's Big News, Little Arms, and then there's this like really bad 3D hex or hex. I don't know. It's not pixelated. It's a hexi or something agonal. And of course, a really bad color for the dinosaur. I mean, his teeth are the same color as his body. Yeah. So, and of course, this week in Google Glass, the same thing. If you look at it, the Android guy has got, this. He's pretty much see-through, so you see the Google Glass bows in there. So, I'm not an After Effects artist. I just play one on TV. So, but anyway, enough about that. Let's get into our new segment called Big News, Little Arms. Okay, enough of that. We're starting over at glassalmanac.com. Crowd Optic is, we talked about hockey having a program that basically if you get up out of your seat, got to go to the bathroom, got to get a beer or whatever, that you won't miss any of the action. Crowd Optic is bringing the same type of idea to NASCAR fans. So basically, what your glass will do, you won't. Drivers will not wear glass. I think that's actually an obstruction for them by their rules. So you won't see. I don't think you'll see drivers wearing Google Glass. Maybe there's always a possibility. The probability right now is just low. But the idea is that you'll be able to see replays. You'll be able to click and find out who's at first, what's at second, third, and fourth, and everything like that. It's also they're also working on for the NFL. They're also working on for the NBA. So if you go to a football game, if you go to a basketball game, you need to go get a beer because we all need to go get beer. That's just beer is what drives us in this world. Then you'll be able to not miss any of the action. If some amazing dunk where somebody smashes the glass off of backboard happens, you'll just hit a couple buttons and replay that shot, and it's like you weren't there. So when your buddies say, did you miss it? Did you miss it? You went to the bathroom, didn't you? No, I saw the whole thing. It's awesome. It was crazy. It's crazy. So right now for Speedway and NASCAR fans, they're trying it out. They didn't say where they're trying it out just yet, and but they are partnering with the International Speedway Corporation. So I'm guessing sometime next year you'll start to be able to take your glass to the track and see what happens from there. Excuse me. So, and that's over at Glass. Well, I forgot to put the link up there. I always do that. We're going to show that item. There we go. And that's on the showcase. If you watch over on youtube.com/This Week in Glass, then you can follow along with the links in there. So that's Crowd Optic partnering with International. And I'm going to click the next one so Luke can talk about that.
Yeah, so there was a new patent released or awarded to Google last week. So we're all familiar with seeing the patents of glass when it started. They want to patent these ideas so that other people couldn't release very similar hardware after they'd done all this work. Well, Google apparently applied for some other patents, and one of them was just awarded last week. and it has to do with a updated version of a wearable display device. Now, you might say, well, isn't that what glass is already? Well, it is, but what they showed in this patent was something with a very different form factor. So Jeff has it here up on the display, so if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see this. If you're just listening to the audio, I'll try to describe it. But it looks much more like a regular pair of glasses with kind of a little block on the inside. They showed on the right side, the same side glass is normally on. Inside the lens, on that corner, and then that would be used in theory to display the same information that right now is this external piece on glass. So this doesn't mean that this is what the new version of Google Glass will look like, but if they're patenting something like this, that probably means they've either worked out enough of the design that they think they'll be able to build it, or they've done a proof of concept kind of thing, or it's something that they're moving forward with. So it doesn't really go into details of the actual hardware. They're patenting something much more generic. So this doesn't mean that if you come out with something that's faster or has more memory in it, that this patent doesn't apply to you. This really applies to any sort of wearable display device, I would guess, with the projector behind the lens of the glasses and that projects forward. It's a very interesting design. I think it looks a lot better. I don't know what your opinions are on that, Jeff. What do you think of this design?
I think that it looks very generic. I think that they're going for a very generic patent. So, and really, if you think about it, they're trying to patent. They're getting around patenting a frame, a glasses frame. So I'm just a little concerned that we end up giving them the patent for glasses, as opposed to Google glasses. And I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, it's not unusual for companies to make lots of different types of patents. So I don't know if you know the story about the girl and the sunglass clip. There was a little girl that made that actual clip that you put on your visor to hold your sunglasses.
Yeah.
And she put it to the patent office, and somebody went over to the patent office and looked it up, and they said, well, she didn't do it in plastic, and she didn't do it this way. So they redid it, and they put in their own patent for it, and it wasn't anything like hers. And they ended up making millions of dollars on it, and this little girl was just kind of left out because hers was made with bobby pins. And since she didn't consult a lawyer or anything like that, she lost out big time. So the whole point is that companies will make different versions of it. So if somebody says, well, they haven't done this, well, yeah, they have. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if they can stuff all the technology into a regular pair of glasses and go from there. So, and that has been big news, little arms. I love that. So anyway, let's move on from there. Let's get into the main section, little arms. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start over at Fandroid. Google Glass 20.1 is not out, but it is out, but it's not out. Like I said, it's been sitting on a hook being charged this whole time. I'm still at 19.1. Luke, you said that you're at 19.1. But apparently there's a new Google Glass rolling out, which is supposed to revolutionize the way that glass has been doing something or other. Anyway, so you'll be able to do a lot more voice commands. You'll be able to access your contacts a little bit better, a little bit easier, and a lot more. You've read through this article a little bit, right, Luke?
I've read through this article, and then there's also the support page on the Google Glass site that goes through some of those details as well. It does talk about some more voice actions, so you can do things without having to touch glass. So it says that in this call, mute my microphone, change the volume. These are all things you could do while you're in a call. So you can say, okay, glass, or in this call, and that would hang up. Or mute my microphone, which you wonder, will the other person hear you say that? Because then they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I won't hear you now. Things like that. There's also you can now delete a video that you record with voice, which I know is an action that a lot of people that I've shown Glass to have wondered how you do it, and it does seem like kind of a basic action. You take a picture and you're like, oh, that was neat. How do I delete this? And it's like, well, you've got to tap through and swipe and tap and swipe,
Hmm.
tap, tap, tap. And like, oh, well, I can't just say delete. Like, no, you can't. But now maybe you'll be able to. They show it with video, and I guess with pictures. Send this to, share this with, and delete this, as well as make a vignette from a picture that you take. So definitely going to be some improvements. I don't know if it'll be, you know, mind blowing and revolutionary. I think the contacts thing is nice just because you won't have to set up your contacts through your Glass app
Yeah.
completely. Hopefully, it'll bubble the ones that you keep contacting to the top so that they're always available. That kind of thing. And then yeah, turning the head nudge off will be
Which
nice.
I do all the time. I don't even I don't care for that thing. I just turn it off.
Yeah. So uh, it'd be uh, it'd be nice if or that'll be nice when that's enabled as part of the system settings, and then
Yeah. Well, it says all you have to do is connect it up to Wi-Fi and then plug it into a charger. So I've had it plugged into a charger for 2 weeks now. Anyway, we don't know. I haven't heard of many people having 21, so they might have only rolled it out to a few people. So we'll see what happens. Maybe by next week we'll have 21, and we'll be going, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, or we're waiting for new pairs of Google Glass because they've been bricked. So we'll see
yeah,
what happens.
yeah.
So that's over on Fandroid.com. You can check that out. Going back over to Glass Almanac, we're going to talk about the new terms of service and price reduction. It boils my bubble that I paid $1,500. I had to fly out to L.A. I had to find my way to their office, and then I had to fly back, and I had Google Glass, and I still don't have, I didn't get frames. I mean, the only reason why I got the cool shades, these shades right here, was because of the fact that my last pair bricked on me, and it was a consolation prize, I suppose. So, but anyway, there's new terms of service. I'm not complaining. Yes, I am. Anyway, there's new terms of service, new internet connectivity, new prices, including and shipping. Apparently, I guess you had to pay for shipping or something like that. And now they've changed on that. Basically, what they're saying is the changes are price reductions. They say in the article the device price displayed on the site does not include shipping. Oh, it doesn't include shipping and handling charges. Information about shipping and handling charges can be found and also presented at checkout. All applicable taxes will be presented at checkout. So basically, you're still not paying $1,500 for a pair of Google Glass. You're paying $1,250 and another $250 for your frames or whatever. You go from there. So it's still $1,500 any way you slice it. But you might get special offers or something like that. So you might get a 10% discount somewhere. So wouldn't that be nice if we would have had a 10% discount?
That's actually a lot of money off of $1,500. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's $150 right there. So
Well, they also say so. Yeah, if the price is reduced within 30 days of when you buy it, you have an additional 30 days from that point to request a refund or credit for the difference between the prices. So that means you don't have to worry about the price dropping, right after you buy it, which I know Apple has a similar policy of, hey, a new iPad came out and the old iPad just dropped in price, and they'll usually do what's right. And I think they usually send out iTunes gift cards or something to people that just bought
yeah.
it if they call
Well,
and complain.
you know why that happens, right? Because almost every state has what's called I think it's called a 30/90 policy, which means within 30 days if a price drops on any, if you go to Target and buy a computer and that computer price drops to they drop the price in $200. in 30 days. You have I believe you have up to 90 days to get that store credit price. And they got to give you back the money. They can't give you store credit or anything like that. I think that's a lot of laws, and of course each state has a different law, and of course we're not even talking international stuff. So if you live in Canada or the UK, that's probably not the case. But most states, you have 30 days. You should be checking your inserts on the Sunday paper and see if the price of that camera or that smartphone has gone down, because then you have a certain time frame to actually go get that discount and get that money back. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely you get that advantage there, and so that means that they are planning to start reducing the price and having sales, because it makes sense. Well, they can't do back to school sales. I think they're a little bit late on that, but Christmas is coming up. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Black Friday sale. Be able to get it for $1,400 as opposed to $1,500 or something like that. So.
Yeah, or maybe something with this patent, they'll have a new version come out that looks different, and they'll fire sale the old ones and give the new price for the new ones or
Yep.
something like that, and they'll who knows what might happen. That's one thing I didn't mention in the other one is, or in the article about the redesign is the we haven't seen an update to the design of glass now in 2 years. It was 2 years ago that they showed this, form factor and said, hey, here's what glass is going to be. It's this really exciting thing.
Yeah.
And then a year later, they actually released it to people. And now it's been a whole nother year since then. And so it's basically been 2 years since we first saw glass, and try to think of another piece of technology that hasn't changed its form factor in 2 years. The iPhone changes, the Android phones get smaller, thinner, faster, bigger, whatever.
Yeah.
So for glass to not change in 2 years is actually kind of surprising. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a new form factor that they're kind of working on, and they're like, uh-oh, we really gotta, and maybe that's why things have gotten so quiet, is because it's all to get ready for something new. But that's all just kind of guessing. That's not
Oh, yeah.
based on any sort of inside information. So.
You have all the inside information, don't you? You know all the players, right?
I wish I had a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah.
You
So
and me
I
both.
do not.
You and me both. It would have been nice to go out and check out Google this week, but that just didn't happen. So, also inside this article, they're talking about internet connectivity. They talk about Wi-Fi. They do kind of glaze over any type of cellular with a SIM card. I don't think there's going to be a Google Glass. People are kind of yammering for Google Glass with a SIM card availability, but right now there's nothing in the works that we know of on there. But they're saying if it does happen, it might just happen. But if it doesn't happen, it might just happen. So we'll see what happens there. They also removed the beta product. These are officially not beta anymore. These are, I don't know, what's the next step? Alpha, beta, Centurion.
Production.
These are Centurion. Now, they haven't said production yet. These are Centurion. So what's C? Alpha, beta. I guess.
I don't know. Never goes past that.
Yeah, Centurion would be the next. So these are Centurion. So I'm wearing some cool Centurion shades. That cost me $1,500. So anyway, and so basically they've reworked the terms of service. So things such as you can't sell your Google Glass on eBay or Craigslist, because now you can, and because it's not a closed beta anymore. It's not a closed Explorer program anymore. We're not explorers anymore. Luke, you're just not an explorer anymore. Sorry.
I think it does if you go to, if you go to glass.google.com/getglass, it'll take you to the site where you can buy the Glass Explorer Edition, and it does say become an explorer. So I think there's still they're still considering you kind of part of the Explorer program, but not as much part of the beta program.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're like, they still call it Glass XE, but yeah, it's not considered beta. So and it's a little different than it has been in the past. So yeah, the article that you linked to here mentions that to them this means that it's going public, or it's going to become just a public product that they officially announce. I think with the Android Wear integration coming, that might be a good time to go public with that once it has that, because then it works with a lot more Android devices and apps, so it becomes a lot more useful. It now has, in essence, a million apps that work with it. Any app that provides notifications basically works with Glass. That would be a great time to really go public with it. So
Yeah.
that's my take on what this means. But yeah, really, I think they're just kind of like you said, getting legal in place so that if something happens, their terms of service of everybody who bought it, the terms of service at the time they bought it said that they only had to wait like 30 days, and if the price changed after 30 days, they didn't have to, provide you with any sort of price matching or whatever. So they're just getting that all in place. So 30 days from now, maybe there'll be something, or maybe maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree on that. And because you said frames could be different.
Mm-hmm.
They might be working on something there that we don't know about yet. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think that. We know that it's that things are changing, and as life should change, and go from there. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm loading up. I'm loading up one extra thing. So Luke,
Yes.
Ice Bucket Challenge. Have you taken it?
I have not been challenged by anyone that, was in the Ice Bucket Challenge. So,
Okay. I have
I
not.
haven't.
I've facilitated a couple Ice Bucket Challenges
Oh,
because I was doing video for them. So,
excellent.
what a couple people have been saying, well, we should do ice. You got Google Glass. Let's do the Ice Bucket Challenge on that. Well, because they're saying, oh, this would be the first time we'd have Google Glass like Ice Bucket Challenge. Unfortunately, no, that's not true. This was a Vine. This is on Ice Bucket Challenge's YouTube channel. And of course, Mr. Robert Scoble here took the Ice Bucket Challenge, and so basically what happened was, here he is. He's wearing his Google Glass, and this was like a few weeks ago, and when they did the top tech people doing Ice Bucket challenges, there they are. And Robert Scoble, I should text him and ask him how did he lose his. I don't know what version of Google Glass he has. Did he lose his glass? Because little known fact, when I broke my fourth pair of Google Glass, I instantly texted Robert Scoble and I said, "When you had your Google Glass in the shower, did they break?" And he texted me back and goes, "Yeah, I had to go get a new pair." So I'm gonna text him and I'm gonna find out if he had to get a brand new pair of Google Glass, and maybe we'll get him on the show. I've asked him a couple times, so we'll see what happens. Maybe he's usually busy on Mondays, so we can see if we can get him on the show for a future episode. So, what do you think? Are you ever going to get challenged for the Ice Bucket Challenge?
I would gladly take on that challenge. I kind of doubt I will ever be challenged by someone who themselves was challenged and brought into it. I really think it's a cool idea to kind of virally spread this challenge, because each person challenges three more, and so as long as one of those people does it, it continues on. And if all three do it, then it spreads to three more, to nine more effectively, and so and then that becomes 27, and it just multiplies out, exponentially there, and so it can really spread quickly. So I would gladly take it on, but I would need to see some official. Like, I would need to be officially challenged, and it may be someone's challenged me. I don't know if I've searched everywhere, high and low, but I haven't been contacted via Twitter or email or any of those things to be told, hey, I challenge you to the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Okay. Well, lots of cool stuff with the ice bucket challenge. Lots of cool video too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I want to show you. I want to show you another one here. This is my friend Anthony Quintana. He took the ice bucket challenge, but he did it a little bit differently. And so he basically put a GoPro in the bottom of the bucket. I think this is a GoPro. And so he's showing from the bucket's vantage point, fill in the water. We'll show you bits and pieces. Let's get to where he puts the ice in there. That's with the ice. And here it comes. There he is. He's getting ready. And it's really weird because you hear the sound. It's like, and then all of a sudden all the water goes out.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing. It's so quiet in that bucket. And so there it is, the ice bucket challenge from the bucket. And that's
Yeah.
from Anthony Quintana. But lots of cool video and lots of interesting social media observances, like how some people don't know how to use their camera phones
Yeah.
for the ice bucket challenge and stuff like that. So, but anyway, just a little side note there. Not really wearable technology too much, but if you want to see me throw ice water on top of my head, I'm not doing it with Google Glass on, and at least until I get confirmation that I can get a replacement pair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. So
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead.
I do want to say one thing. I just looked it up on the official alsa.org where you can donate regardless of whether you've been challenged. And they put out a little press release today saying that they have so far this year. So let me compare it to last year. So last year, between July 29th and August 25th, they raised $2.5 million for ALS, or the research of ALS. So this year so far, in that exact same time period, compared to 2.5 million, they have this year raised $79.7 million. So I think that by any sort of measure, it is a success, and I'm sure they are thrilled each day by how successful it has been. And I can imagine a whole lot of other charities looking to do something similar, trying to come up with their own idea. But it is really amazing that not only are people just, dumping ice on themselves and videoing it and putting it up on YouTube, but people are also donating money for this really great cause and really to help solve this problem.
There was one video I saw of a guy that basically said, well, because if you dig into the website, you can actually get all the financials. And he goes, when it's all said and done, only out of every $100, $7 goes towards fighting the research for ALS. Everything else goes into fundraising, paying people's salaries and stuff like that. And so he said, well, and he pulled up this cup of ice water. He said, this is $7 worth of ice bucket challenge, and he dumps it over his head. And it really kind of pissed me off because it's a great cause, and there are some people that feel peer pressure into doing this challenge, and because it's not something that they normally donate money to, and they might be donating to worthy causes. It's just not to ALS. But this he's just like, this is my donation. But you think about it. So how much did they make last year? You said $2.5 million.
In the same period, they made 2.5. Now they probably made more throughout the year, but in that same short period, yeah.
Well, think about it. You make 2.5, and now you made $80 million. We'll just round it up. You make $80 million, and so now that was it 30%, 30 or 40%? No, it was 52% goes to fundraising. And you think about it, you got to put in money to make money. Here is something that completely blew away. So now their budget is 80 million, and it's like, wow, we don't really need to take 50% of that for fundraising. We can now knock that down, and now we're going from $7 per person for research to I don't know, maybe $50 or $60 per $100 for research. So you got to think of it that way. And
hopefully all that money isn't going to salaries, and it's not determined that way of like, hey, if every dollar comes in, you'll get 10 cents, that kind of thing. Hopefully it's like, well, here's your salary, and we raised a lot more money this year, so that just means all that extra money goes straight to the research. So
Yeah.
at least that's what we can
Well, if it
be
goes
hopeful
towards,
for.
yeah, well, if you're paying somebody's salary, you're paying for the research. I mean, it's not like you're paying for, well, you got to pay for a CEO and you got to pay for administrative, and that's understandable. But you're paying for somebody who spent 12 years going to college to become a doctoral professor, not a professor, but a doctor of this science, and they need to pay back their student loans and stuff like that. So they get this job, and yeah, this job is gonna make them. It's not going to be a $10,000 a year job because they're doing high tech scientific work to try and figure out a cure for ALS. So I would expect them to be making six figures when it comes to research on there. So yeah, salaries are going to be six figures and go from there. So anyway, I'm getting on a soapbox for the wrong reason here. This is not about Google Glass. I just wanted to show you the Robert Scoble Google Glass one, just to say it's been done already. Don't need to worry about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely donate. Don't feel pressured to donate, but donate if you feel that this is the right cause. If there's another cause, I have a friend who donates to breast cancer because her mother had breast cancer. That makes sense. Donate to that cause, but donate to ALS. Give ALS their time in the spotlight, and it's all good, and go from there. So,
Yeah.
anyway, sorry about that. Luke, take over the show. I'm done.
So I think we're wrapping up here for the night. So if you're looking to contact us, you can find us over at twig.tv. That's twigg.tv. And then my email address is luke@twig.tv. Or if you want to just ping me on Twitter, it's Luke Luca. That's LukeLuca. Or on Google Plus, Luke Wallace. And you can find me there. I'm the guy who looks kind of like this. And if you're just listening to the audio, well, I guess you'll have to check the video so you can see what I look like. But yeah, I'm Luke Wallace, and I post lots of pictures through Glass and post about wheelings and dealings and Android stuff. So that's always fun.
All right. And my name is Jeffrey Powers, and you can find me over at Geekazine. I do a lot of stuff over my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Geekazine. Of course, this show is on youtube.com/This Week in Glass. You can go there, subscribe there. I'd appreciate it much because we need more subscriptions and we need more viewers. Always need more viewers. If you want to be part of the show, if you want to be interviewed about your Google Glass app or what you do with Google Glass, let us know. Email us, luke@twig.tv, jeff@twig.tv. If you want to be part of our Android Wear team and spruce up this show a little bit more, let me know, and we'll go from there. And yeah, we'll do that. And then you'll have a cool graphic like big news, little arms. There we go. That
Sorry.
just woke everybody up. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll be back next Monday with another episode. Episode number 50. 50. 50. 50. We'll have a cake and candles and everything like that. And no, we won't. Maybe a
Aw.
cupcake. Maybe I don't know, maybe a peanut or something like that. Peanut M&M. That's always a good thing. So then we'll do that next week. Come join us on the 50th episode. That is this episode of This Week in Google Glass. Until next week, you guys geek out. Wow.